Hi friends, good morning. 6 o'clock here on this Tuesday. Welcome to Up with KREM. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Channing Curtis. And our meteorologist Thomas Patrick is getting us ready for the day ahead. Thomas, it is beautiful outside, but it's a little deceptive because it's colder than it looks.
Yeah, that it is, Channing. Our temperature is still in the 30s this morning, but this is usually the coldest point of the day, just after sunrise. But it's that sunshine that's going to warm us up very nicely throughout the day. Today's just one of those great days to perhaps take a picnic, and you'll understand why I said it that way later on in our broadcast. But this morning it is already mostly sunny out there, but our temperatures are still in the 30s. 38 though, not bad in Spokane, even though that is our low temperature for the day. Our lows right now in the 30s, basically all across the inland northwest. Let's see here. We got 34 in Coeur d'Alene, 28 in Sandpoint. That's one of our cooler spots. 29 Walls, 23 in St. Mary's. So a handful of North Idaho locations are still in the 20s. Still could be a bit of frost on the ground this morning, but we'll be warming up from here because it is going to be mostly sunny all day long. Another one of those good days to say, get your car washed because we're not expecting any rain for a few days either. So today, an excellent day overall weather-wise.
As you wake up this morning, we want to help you prepare for the morning commute. We're taking a live look right now of US 2 and Sunset. Right now, not a bad day here on US 2. You can see things moving a-okay. We do want to let you know it looks like on krem.com/traffic it's showing some slowdowns on West Bragg Avenue, but nothing too crazy. We'll keep you updated here on Up with KREM if any slowdowns impact your morning commute.
Well, this morning we are continuing to track some breaking news out of Richland. An Amber Alert has been issued for a child who police say was taken by a double murder suspect. Police say Elias Huizar is a former Yakima police officer who took off with 1-year-old Roman Huizar. He reportedly took the child from West Richland and may be heading to Mexico. WSP says Huizar is accused of killing his ex-wife and girlfriend. Now, officers believe that he shot one of the women outside of an elementary school near the Tri-Cities on Monday as school kids were being released. Police then found the other woman dead in his home. Now, again, he is a former Yakima police officer. He was supposed to go on trial yesterday for child rape. This, of course, is a developing situation. We're working to gather more details for you, and we'll keep you updated this morning on Up with KREM, as well as our website, krem.com.
6:03, new from overnight, Spokane City Council discussed rent prices within city limits. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones joining us live from City Hall this morning for us. So Brandon, tell us more about how this will change things for landlords and renters. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim. Well, right now, City Council is discussing an ordinance that would ultimately require landlords to give tenants another month or two of advance notice of a rent increase, because currently, right now, they are only required to give 2 months notice in the event of a rent increase. So if City Council passes this ordinance they are discussing, it would double the time to 4 months notice for increases of 3% or less and 6 months notice for more than 3% increases. The ordinance says almost all Spokane renters pay more than the recommended 30% of their income to housing. KREM 2 crew spoke with both proponents of the ordinance and a longtime landlord in Spokane who says it comes down to supply and demand that impacts the pricing.
The city's trying to solve the symptoms of an affordability issue without really looking at the root cause.
Really, at the end of the day, I think one thing that we do share between renters and landlords is to keep people in their homes.
So last night's City Council meeting was just a breakdown and discussion of the proposed ordinance. The plan is for Council to vote on the ordinance next week, and then if it's passed, those new rules and regulations would go into place starting on June 1st. But for now, reporting live outside of City Hall, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
This morning, reaction continues to come in after news that there will be a change in leadership at Gonzaga University. President Thane McCullough announced that he will be retiring at the end of next school year.
So the announcement was made in an email to students, alumni, and staff members yesterday. McCullough has worked at Gonzaga for more than 30 years and has been the university's president since 2009. He says that higher education is at a time of great change and that there's more to be done to position Gonzaga for continued success. In a press conference, he said that it is time to prepare the way for others to lead Gonzaga into its future.
I believe today that Gonzaga is in a much stronger position. It is poised for many wonderful new successes going forward. And I'm truly excited about the possibilities that lie before it.
Gonzaga University's Board of Trustees is now preparing for the presidential search. Their next step is to appoint a search committee.
New information in the case against the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students. Court documents filed on Friday in Latah County show Brian Kohberger's attorneys can continue to contact people in Latah County through a trial consultant's phone survey. The defense is trying to find out what people know about the case from the media ahead of Kohberger's change of venue hearing. The judge made the ruling Friday after 2 hearings earlier this month where prosecutors argued the survey questions could, quote, poison the potential jury pool. They also argued Kohberger's defense violated the gag order in the case by asking these questions. Documents show prosecutors had issues with questions used in the survey. But after Friday's order, the defense can continue with the survey without any changes.
This morning, we're taking a live look at the federal courthouse in New York City, where in just a few hours, a key prosecution witness will continue testimony at former President Donald Trump's Manhattan trial. It comes after both sides presented their opening statements yesterday to the jury.
Trump is charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business documents related to an alleged payment to keep an affair with adult film star quiet ahead of the 2016 election. CBS News' Jared Hill has more on what to expect today.
This is a witch hunt, and it's a shame.
After railing against proceedings following opening statements, today former President Donald Trump is due back in a New York courtroom. The prosecution's first witness, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker, also back on the stand. During opening statements, prosecutors argued that in 2015, Pecker met with Trump and his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, to work out a scheme to buy and conceal negative stories about Trump ahead of the 2016 election. One of them about an alleged previous affair with adult film star Stormy Daniels. In his brief testimony Monday, Pecker acknowledged the National Enquirer did pay for stories. Trump denies any wrongdoing. While Cohen did pay Daniels $130,000 to suppress her story days before the election, which Trump later reimbursed as legal fees, the prosecution characterized it as election fraud.
It's a case as to bookkeeping, which is a very minor thing in terms of the law.
In his opening, Trump's defense attorney, Todd Blanche, said that Trump didn't commit any crimes and, quote, "There's nothing wrong with trying to influence an election. It's called democracy." Cohen, who previously served prison time after pleading to federal campaign finance charges as well as other crimes, is also expected to testify.
He got in trouble, he went to jail. This had nothing to do with me.
Also today, the judge will hear arguments on whether to hold Trump in contempt for allegedly violating a gag order over his social media posts criticizing the trial. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
In another courtroom nearby, New York Attorney General Letitia James and former President Trump's attorneys reached a deal to allow his $175 million bond to stand in a separate civil fraud case. It comes weeks after another judge ruled that Trump misrepresented the value of his assets in a separate civil fraud case, which Trump denies.
Time is 6:09. Another look at our weather forecast, which is still cool this morning, but the sun is already out, and that's going to warm us up very quickly. We have a very stable weather pattern at that because we're not going to see any kind of rainfall anywhere near us, nor for several days as we widen things out. There's a high pressure region just off to our north, and that is what's exactly keeping our weather pattern stable. Just some high level clouds to pass through Washington and Oregon and perhaps North Idaho for today. But it's not going to stop that sunshine. We're up to about 68 in Spokane, and this will likely be our warmest day of the week. So while our temperatures peak today, well, they'll get a lot cooler by Friday. That's our next chance of rainfall, and a very likely chance at that. We'll show you the storm system responsible for this cool down coming up in your full forecast.